All right. Andrew, welcome to the show, my friend. How are you?
Hey, good. You?
Good, good. Round three. You're the first person who's been on here three times, by the way. So congrats.
Maybe I'm becoming a fan favorite.
I know. You definitely are. You were the first
Do
person to
I,
be on twice, and now you're the first person to be on three times
do I have the most downloads?
by far. Oh, yeah. Matt.
Overall, maybe just because this will be my third
Probably not. Maybe, though.
time.
Maybe. There's some
Okay.
big news today. So we're going to have to market the shit out of this one and get it out there
Yep.
and roll that way.
Yep.
Um, so I wanted to start off. Let's start off actually with stock market and investing. We just chatted before we started recording. You've been doing this for almost a year now. You were officially my first guest, and then we did episode 100 together.
Yep.
So you've been doing the investing thing for a year, a crazy year to get started with investing, I'll say. What has it been like? Give everyone a little download. What are some big takeaways from your first year of getting after it?
It's been a roller coaster, really. Started at rock bottom last March, about a year ago, when coronavirus first hit, and it did nothing but go up from there, basically. And
Yeah.
basically, after the first of the year, this year, things kind of got worse. And so basically, throughout my whole year, I've looked at it as I was more of a trader, I would say.
Yeah. Okay.
And then now it's become more of investment, because I think there's a big difference between the two.
Yeah, I talk about that a lot. Just like
Yep.
there's really like two types of people.
And the way this market is now, I think it's really hard and disappointing to be a trader. But long term play, I think that's where you need to be now. It's where you need to focus before this. I mean, this thing really needs to level out because it has not been good. I'm sitting here
Today was
looking
the
at it on my other
first,
screen, and it's good today, but
right? I was gonna say
no,
today was the first day I looked at my phone and I'm like, ooh, I'm up over 1%. This is big.
yep,
It's been a rough few months, really, too. I mean,
it's
honestly,
been
since the beginning of the year.
it's been pretty bad since the first year, and no, yeah, no, it's been nothing but going down, really. And like I said, just trying to invest more and stop looking at it as much.
Okay.
Yeah, I'd check my phone 10 times a day
Yeah. Yeah.
and
Yeah.
be nothing but disappointed in the past couple months.
Well, you kind of
And
have to do that too if you're going to be trading.
I
Like
know, I know, but
if you're trying to get in and out of stuff, that's why it's tough. If you don't have the time to put into it, it becomes really difficult.
I just feel like if you pay attention to it too much, if you constantly watch it, you're going to make stupid mistakes. It makes
Yeah.
you freak out,
Yeah. Yeah. Well,
especially
most people get emotional, right? Because
exactly.
you got to be able to know when you want to get out and let the numbers do the numbers. And when it
Exactly.
hits a number, either you have a stop loss in or you sell it yourself, and you can't get emotional, right?
Yep. Let it do its thing and just be patient.
Yeah.
Play it smart. Know your cut loss points. Know where you want to be, and go from there.
So what has been like the biggest surprise from a year ago when you just were putting your first dollars into? You use Robinhood, don't you?
Yeah, I still use Robinhood,
Yeah.
even though that's probably very controversial to most
Oh
people.
yeah, definitely. I know. I've been promoting it. I've been promoting Robinhood so hard the last year since I started this, and I haven't really got a lot of. I haven't gotten a lot of flack for it, but it's definitely controversial now, which is
But
funny. I would have never thought that.
if people ask, they're like, "What platform you use?" And I'm like, "Oh, I'm still on Robinhood," and they're like, "Why?" After what they did with GameStop and a couple of those stocks or whatever.
Yeah.
It's just like, well, didn't like every platform do that, or some of them did anyway, to a
Yeah,
certain
some of them
extent.
did. A lot of
I
them
think
aren't like as visible as like visibly, I would say, from a or visible from like a social media perspective as Robinhood is, right? They like push it so hard, and Vlad's very vocal.
Yep.
So, and then you have people like Dave Portnoy who then attacks.
Man.
So it's like it just became everyone knew about Robinhood after
Well, I
that.
think Robinhood took the the blunt hit of all of that, and I think other
I mean,
platforms
it's really the first time the internet's been able to like get behind a single stock and
right?
drive it to that extreme for no reason, which is
Yep.
actually kind of, when you think about it, kind of surprising it took that long.
I know, really. I mean, it just shows you how powerful the social media is
Yeah,
and the
right.
internet is. Yeah, and yeah, it didn't go over very well, but no, I'm still in Robinhood. I mean, I do like it. I mean, there's nothing wrong with it. I mean, my money's there. I'm not gonna pull it out and transfer to another platform. I like it. I think it's simple. So
Yeah. Which I think is a benefit for most people. there's a lot of other platforms that are really complicated.
Yep.
I mean, I've been on Robinhood for a very long time. I've been thinking about moving some things other places, but I haven't yet. So that was a surprise. Anything else that kind of stands out, or from a good/bad perspective, I guess?
No, I don't think so. I mean, just trying to find which angle to hit, and where to stay and what's a good long term play. And if you're going to trade, what are some of these short term stocks that you want to be in and stuff. And I don't think anything was extremely shocking, really. It's more simple than what I thought it would all be than originally getting into. I thought it was much more complicated. And I mean, you learn as you go too. And with Robinhood, you unlock things and can do more things as you go. And um, some stuff to learn too is on the tax side. You know, um, Definitely learned some things there. When we submitted our taxes here the last couple of months, and I
Yeah.
mean,
What
no,
was a
no,
big thing from a tax perspective you learned?
basically that you're taxed on every trade that you make, and I mean, if you profit off of that, then you're going to get taxed.
Got
But
it.
I
Yeah.
think once you pull out, if you were to pull all of your money out, then you're taxed capital gains, I think.
Yeah. Exactly.
So, I mean, there's still things to learn there, but I mean, nothing was really shocking or whatever. Just if you're going to do it, dive in, learn. I
Right.
think now's a really good time to get in. I do.
Yeah. I feel like as you look back over time, it's always better now than, a year from now, 5 years from now, 10 years from now.
Yeah.
So that's always a key thing. No, that's interesting, especially that the taxes, because you asked me about that, and it can be a little complicated depending on if you take things out or if you don't reinvest dividends and all that fun stuff.
Right. It is kind of
Yeah.
complicated, but it's not bad. It's not scary. If you
Do-
have an account, or, I mean, they're going to take care of it for you. They're going to explain it all. So,
yeah, yeah, they do a good job of just sending you the documents you need to.
yep.
Do you do you have a good rhythm of like how you invest? Is it like every time you get a paycheck, or is it like a certain cadence you try to put money in, or is it random, or how do you usually do that?
For the most part, it's pretty random. Basically, it's just if I have some extra money laying around, then I'm going to throw it towards the stock market. But eventually, I'd like to get on a monthly, where you put in a little bit of money each month. I think that'd be the
Yeah.
best route to go.
Yeah.
And
I get
that's
surprised. I think I do every 2 weeks. Yeah, every 2 weeks.
they,
Um, it's funny how you don't realize. I don't know. There were times in the past where maybe I would do it monthly, or for the longest time I was definitely random, and then I would realize I'm like, shit, it's been like 2 months since I actually put anything in, and you realize how like quickly it can compound when you just put, even if it's a smaller amount. And it's been very interesting for me. I used to do the in Robinhood, you can do like automatic deposits. So if you
right,
get paid every whatever, you could just set it up the same day you get paid at whatever amount of money you want goes
right,
directly in. Um, I personally like moving it. I like moving the money manually just so I know what's happening and I'm not surprised by anything. But it's kind of a cool thing you can do too.
it is.
Um, any stock right now that you're like super hot on, or super? I think last time, I'm trying to think what we talked. I can't. I have to go back and listen. You had a company last time you were super hot on. I think it was electric vehicles. I haven't heard you talk about that as much lately. But anything new and exciting that you're fired up about?
Nothing new. I mean, I'm still really big into the electric vehicle market for sure. I think it's the future, and I think a lot of things are going there.
If I
I
could
think
heard you say that when we were in college, I would. I mean, it's funny to think back now. Do you remember everyone's thoughts back like 2013, 2014
yeah.
around electric vehicles? It was like, that's not going to be a thing.
Do I want to own one? Absolutely not. Am I going to invest in it? Yes.
That's fair. That's fair. That's
Yeah.
fair. There you go.
Yeah.
There you
Yeah.
go.
And another good one I really like is Penn.
Yeah.
Always. I've talked about it so
Is
much.
that just because of the Barstool guys and the Barstool stuff?
Yeah, and I think Dave Portnoy has so much power and he's capable of so many things. It's just I don't know if it's ever going to stop.
So I think that's a good leeway into the next thing I was going to mention today. So since we last spoke, I've told you all this, I think, off the air, but came across much more of the Barstool like ecosystem than I realized existed, including Dave's podcast, which is hilarious. If no one's listened
Yeah.
to that, the Dave Portnoy show with Eddie and Co is honestly, I've listened to it for like 2 weeks straight. It's like all I listen to right now.
Yeah.
It's just funny, and it's a behind the scenes of what they're doing. And I didn't know the whole situation with Penn. So learning that, yeah, it's kind of remarkable. It's kind of like, it reminds me of Robinhood in a way where it's, a social media company and people who are much more involved with that influencer social media world getting into the old school boys club casino world.
Yeah.
And it was funny because you showed me, or you kind of got me on a DraftKings, and I remember we had touched on it in the last episode. I had done some stuff with FanDuel but not really sportsbook. Then for the Super Bowl this year, I got on DraftKings and did a few things. And then just this last weekend, I was like, oh, I didn't realize, Barstool Sportsbook, the Penn app essentially was available on iTunes. In Illinois. So I downloaded it, and it's so good. And it all ties in with their social media stuff, and you can like bet along with them, and they're talking. It's like, it's ingenious. I'm with you. I think Penn's, and just with his voice and all of Barstool's voice, and they have so much equity in it doing well that it's pretty crazy. It's a pretty cool story. I didn't know the whole thing.
Man, they have a lot of stuff. Every angle you can think of.
And they're constantly coming up with new stuff. I'm wearing the Barstool Fun sweatshirt. I forgot I was wearing
Oh
it.
yeah. 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 I mean,
yeah.
what a powerful platform. I mean, outdoors, they have Barstool Outdoors, and they have so many podcasts. We were just talking about it yesterday.
Yeah. Yeah.
Podcasts they have. And
There's
just
so many.
these little videos that they do is just, and like Rough and Rowdy. I don't know if you've seen that.
I've heard about it, but I've not seen it.
It's nuts. And then their platform now, their sports betting platform. I've never been on it. You said you've been on it for about a week now, I think.
Yeah.
And,
I'm 0-4 since I got on it, so I'm on a hot streak.
Horrible start. You can thank Big Cat for that, probably.
Yeah. I appreciate that, Big Cat. Yeah, losing at the end last night, that was devastating. But what are you gonna do?
I told you not to do it.
You did. Well, no, you told me it was a good bet.
I said it's a
UCLA
good
was
bet,
tough.
but I said UCLA is hot.
Yeah, they look like a team that's just in March that is just on fire, and they don't fucking lose. And it's annoying.
One every year.
Yeah. I actually used to be a huge UCLA fan. I like UCLA, but that was a bummer. No, but they're crazy. I mean, they really are. Like, and I thought it's interesting listening to Dave's show because they're just always, his whole thing. I thought his thing was always just kind of like being the funny guy and the sports guy, but like, he's just a content guy. Like, and he talks about it on his own podcast. He gets like fired up when people like aren't producing blogs and content and aren't putting out episodes. Like, that's all he cares about is like this content machine.
He's kind of like Gary Vee, just likes noise.
100%. And he's like, if you're not everywhere, you're nowhere type of thing.
Yep.
And so it's really interesting to see. Yeah. So Penn will be an interesting one. How do you feel about like the other guys, like DraftKings and some of the other stocks that are in that world?
I think they're still going to keep going. I really do. I think sports betting is becoming so big. And one of the bigger reasons too, I mean, Barstool's huge.
Not to cut you off, you're closer in this. Where did that all come from? Because I feel like I just like sports betting. I feel like I didn't know anything about it until like, honestly, you mentioned it probably a year ago at your wedding. And that's the first time I like heard about it, but I didn't get into it until maybe late football season, just like tried it on FanDuel. And I don't know. Where did it all of a sudden, do you know the story behind like, how did it all of a sudden become legalized and like it's on phones now and it's.
No, I really don't. But like, I mean, I think Barstool has made such an impact on that. I mean, just think about it. All the like that's all they talk about. It's all they do, really, for the most part.
Yeah.
And it's just, I don't know. When we were in college, it wasn't even a thought.
No. Can you imagine if it was? How much fun that would be? I mean, we didn't have a lot of money, but honestly, I would have probably rathered, I'm sure there have been weekends where we would have just gotten a case of beer and come back to the place and sports bet and watch the games over even going out to the bars. Like, I think that would have totally been for college kids. Yeah. It's fun as shit.
Yeah, but no, I mean, I knew it existed back then, but like I don't even know if I have no idea what year like FanDuel, DraftKings were even started.
Wasn't it like under the table though back then? Like I remember in high school I had a neighbor who he knew how to do it. Yeah. And one day I was over there and I think we were working on homework and his dad always did it. But a guy would literally come over to the house and they had paper tickets and you'd like fill them out and then like rip them off and hand it to him.
Call too, like a bookie.
Yeah, that's what he was. He was a bookie. And I was
Yeah,
like,
well,
wait.
you would like, because if you watch some older TV shows and stuff, like for example, I don't know why this pops in my head, but 2.5 Men.
Okay. Yeah.
Charlie Sheen, when he's a big sports bettor on that show,
Oh, I guess I didn't
and
realize that. He
yeah, I
is?
mean, well, that show took place in what, like the early, mid, late 2000s or whatever,
Yeah. Yeah.
and and he would always be like, he's like, I gotta call my bookie and put this bet in. So
Oh, I
that's what
never
they did.
realized. I guess I didn't realize I
They
didn't
did.
catch it.
But
Oh,
like, if
that's
you would have
funny.
told us in college, if you had heard somebody say, "What's a spread?" we'd have been like, "What?"
What are you talking about? The
Yeah.
spread? No idea. Yeah. I mean, had absolutely no idea.
No. So it's becoming big, and I think Barstool is a big pusher behind it. And I
Yeah.
still think it's going to continue to grow. I mean, even with their platform, they said Indiana's coming soon, maybe by summer 2021 here.
Yeah.
Um,
I don't really understand that process, like how all of a sudden it goes from
Probably a bunch of
being,
legalities and stuff.
it's
I
got
would
to be,
imagine.
right? It's got to be
Yep.
just a whole thing. So
But
interesting. It's a lot
it
of
is.
fun though. I mean, there's just been games in the last week that I've just bet on for fun, a couple bucks. And it's like, it's crazy even having a couple bucks on the line, how much more fun it is to watch a game and you get like fired up
And frustrating.
and frustrated. I totally get it though. I get the hype. I get the whole, it makes sense now. It makes
Mhm.
sense to me. Yeah.
Just like the other night, I was sitting on the couch watching the game, and I can't remember who it was, but they hit a game tying three at the end at the buzzer to send it into OT, and you were texting me, counting your money already.
Unbelievable. Yeah. Oh yeah.
Yep.
Yeah. It was. Oh yeah. It was in the bag. It was done.
Yep. No.
I took the money line and then, yeah, they hit it at the buzzer. I was like, you got to be shitting me.
Yeah.
But it's crazy how accurate Vegas is with some of the odds. Like there was a game, I think on, it was either over the weekend or it was like last Thursday or Friday. I can't remember. But I mean, they like the over under, they hit it. The over was like 168.5. And the score ended up being 168. And for some reason, they didn't foul one more time and they totally should have. It was like one of those things. I'm like, that is crazy.
It is stupid.
Yeah, it's wild.
It makes it hard. That's why it's a gamble. It's betting.
Yeah, right.
Yeah.
It's just betting. Yeah, yeah. We don't really
Uh-huh.
talk about that a lot on here, but the hard thing for me is when I think about putting any money into gambling, I always have to think of it as like this is just no different than me going and like spending money on random shit at the mall or something. Versus it can't be like anything out of my investing pool because
Right.
no way. That's dangerous. We talked about that a little bit last time too. You almost got to treat gambling like fun money.
That's all it is.
Yeah, because it's like if you win, sweet, like I told you last time, I'm not up by a lot, but I've doubled what I put in primarily, pretty much because of the promos they've ran. I mean, I don't even know what happened on the sportsbook app. Like I told you, I lost my money last night, and I woke up this morning and I got it just says bonus added, and and I got my money back. I was like,
Whatever. Take it.
sweet. I don't know. Yeah,
No, I have
it's pretty
not bet a
funny.
single college basketball game in March Madness. None. Zero.
Yeah.
I hate betting on college basketball.
So this is funny that you say that. I'm the opposite. I didn't watch a single game all season, not even Purdue. Didn't even have one game on one time this year.
Yep.
I don't know why. I think it's just the COVID and everything, just wasn't into it. And then March Madness, I've been addicted to. I've watched like so many games.
Yep.
I feel like now it matters, and I'm gambling. Maybe that's what helps.
Yeah.
I could see how this could get addicting though, because like I mean, it goes down to everything. Like I could see it on like Sunday watching golf and coming down to like the last few guys and betting on who's going to win.
Yeah.
Baseball. I mean, everything. You can do it on anything.
Yeah.
Yeah.
College basketball is tough because you never know who's going to show up. Who would have thought?
What do you think's like not the easiest, but what do you think is like the best?
It's
sport?
whatever you like. I don't think. I mean, I watch NFL so much. That's probably the easiest for me.
Okay.
Just
Do you
because I
win?
know.
Like, are you up, you think, as a whole since you started it on football?
Oh yeah.
Oh, really?
College basketball has absolutely destroyed me.
But overall, you're up.
Yes, football is the savior for that for me. College basketball has totally ruined my. Yeah.
I feel like most people I talk to are like, "Oh no, I've definitely lost more money than I've lost more."
Yeah.
But not the case for you. You've won. You think overall you've won money.
Probably. Yeah. I never really sat down and figured it out. I mean, I don't throw that much money at it, so I'm really not that worried about it. It's just for fun,
True.
Yeah, football's where I want to be, and I got burnt so bad on college basketball the past couple of years. It's just like I'm done.
You're just done with it. Yeah.
Yeah. NBA's not bad, but you never know who's gonna show up on those games or whatever. They
Sure.
seem to dog some a little bit, but
Right. Makes sense. Fun stuff. I am going to do, I haven't done this yet either, but I wanted to show you them. Have you tried my sponsor, Routine, yet?
I have not yet.
So these guys are the shit. I love them. Routine. So this is like, do you try any of like the hydration packets?
Yeah, I actually drink some every day, which is
boy.
probably the most common
It's
out of
probably some
any.
sugary shit.
Propel?
That is not the one I was expecting you to say.
Why?
Repel. I don't know. That's just like I don't think that's a super popular brand anymore. I could be
Really?
totally wrong, but that one does not ring a bell as one that would come across my radar as a
Oh,
popular one.
they're good.
These guys are great. Jake was on the podcast. It's cool. I'm going to read this off to you. So 0 sugar. There's an organic lemon, apple cider vinegar, and then a little dash of sea salt in here.
Pretty good, huh?
Me and Kelly are addicted. Like we both have at least 1 or 2 a day. I do a little pre-read, but I was gonna show you on the air here. Yeah, literally just dump this bet. Jake and the founder of it, and usually the way they frame it, it's called morning routine because it's like first in the day and gets you like rehydrated. You like apparently you lose like I forget what it is, a pound to a pound and a half of body weight while you sleep because you sweat.
Right.
And this is supposed to help you just rehydrate, but I have not had enough water today, so I'm gonna make one.
What do they sell for?
That's a great question. You can get 30% off your first order with code. Where is it here? Code Shane White 30.
Nice.
So try it out. They come in like those the sticks I just showed, and then they come in like a big bag of 30 of them.
Nice.
Yeah.
No, maybe I'll give those a shot.
They're sweet. They're really good, and they're cool. They're a small company. They're actually at Crown Point.
Oh, really?
Yeah. Jake.
My wife's from up there.
Oh, that's right. Yeah. So they're from Crown Point. He had another business in the CrossFit world. He made this company that made like they're like grips that you put on. They go over a bar.
Oh yeah.
And they were crazy popular, like the most popular by far in CrossFit. And then he left and started this. So it's sweet. They have all kinds of cool stuff. I know you love vegetables, so they have they have a super green smoothie mix. It's like a little thing. You just pour it in water, and it's like it gets your full day of fruits and vegetables in a drink. It actually tastes amazing though too. I'm not bullshitting you.
Yeah.
Good. So you should check them out. They got all kinds of stuff. You probably don't take vitamin D or C, I'm assuming.
I do actually.
Do you?
I do.
What do you take? I'm blown away. That's not usually your repertoire. Or have you changed?
I'm all in the vitamins and all that stuff every day now. Every day.
What do you take?
You know what? I don't have any idea. My wife gives it to me. It says for you, and I throw it down the hatch, and off we go.
Well, big news. I mean, this is big news. Breaking news. You had a little medical mishap since we talked last.
Yeah. Well, that's
probably why. She's probably trying to make sure you don't die on her now.
When was our 100th episode? Was that in January?
It was like a day before New Year's Eve.
Oh, it was? Okay, so it was at the end of December.
Yeah.
So a lot has changed.
Yeah, no shit.
Yeah, I'm without an appendix now. It's the last podcast.
It is literally not here anymore.
No, it is gone. And
scary story though.
Yeah, kind of, I guess. I didn't realize how serious it was.
I was gonna say it sounded pretty serious / scary when he told me.
I had no idea. I had no clue. I mean, I knew what appendicitis was, but I didn't think about it.
Yeah.
So I'll just run through the story of how I felt. So if anybody's listening to this podcast and they have a question on like, hey, why am I feeling like this? Might be it.
Okay. Oh, this is good. A little PSA.
So I was actually sitting at a agriculture conference and I'm like, I don't really feel that good. You know, like I'm still standing up and everything's fine. I just don't feel that good.
Okay.
Like it was like a stomach ache.
Just like a normal achy stomach.
Normal stomach ache, felt like you had some gas. If you burped once, it felt like you would be done with it.
Oh, okay. Oh, so like pretty mild.
Yep. And then it got a little bit worse, like to where it's like, okay, maybe I have the flu. And the gas was so bad, and stomach ache was so bad, like I was trying to make myself throw up, couldn't throw up, nothing.
You try to make yourself throw up?
Oh, yeah.
Oh, I didn't hear this part. Okay.
Yep. And by day like 2 or 3, I was on my hands and knees on the floor because my stomach hurt so bad. And like I still lift weights or whatever, obviously, and like my
Obviously.
whole yeah, my whole right side was like it felt like a big muscle pull.
Oh, you tried like working out through this?
No,
Oh
no,
no,
like it
no, no.
just felt like after the stomach ache, well, there still was a stomach ache. It felt like a
Sure.
big muscle pull. And I'm like, okay, maybe I pulled something and maybe I have the flu. Not a big deal.
Double whammy just happened to happen at the same time.
We'll get through this.
Yeah.
And after a night of being on my hands and knees, my wife suggested that I go to the doctor, which I hate going to the doctor.
Sure. Oh yeah. Most, I would say this sounds sexist, but most guys I feel like fall into that
Refuse.
category. We're
Yeah,
bad about that.
I have to be near death to go to the doctor.
Yeah, right.
And so I went down there and they're like, okay, we're not sure what it is. We'll give you some like acid reflux type stuff or whatever. And then we'll send you to the hospital to get some blood work. Did some blood work. Next day came back, white blood cell count was high. They're like, okay, we're going to send you in for a CT scan that evening. Went in CT scan that night. And I started feeling a lot better. Like the stomach ache was going away. It just felt like I still had a pulled muscle.
Okay.
So I felt fine.
It's kind
Went
of
to
scary.
work. Yep, went to work that Friday morning and they called me. The hospital called me and they're like, you need to get down here right now.
Oh shit, really?
Yeah. So I'm like, oh, all right. So got my appendix ripped out.
Did they say why your symptoms were getting better? Was that bad?
They said on the CT scan, it really didn't look that bad. And they gave me the option to treat it with medication. They're like, maybe we can treat this with medication and it'll go down. Like the swelling of your appendix will go down. And they're like, there's a 60% chance of that working. And then
Oh, that's not great odds.
that's what I thought. And I'm like, I told the doctor, I said, just get it out of me. Like,
Yeah,
I'm
because
not.
I mean, what's the chance of it like flaring up again? Probably high.
That's why I said, let's just get it over with, be done.
Yeah.
And
That's smart.
I mean, for a month, I mean, your abs hurt so bad. It's 3 cuts. And I mean, I still, for a month, you're not allowed to lift more than 20 pounds.
So basically, like your PR max ish.
Yeah. But like, still to this day, I can't remember when I had surgery. I think it's been 7 weeks now.
It was to say, I think I talked to you like
months.
pretty early in the year, and you just had it.
Yep. So 7-8 weeks, I think, maybe somewhere in there. I still can barely do abs.
Oh, I bet that's gonna screw you up for a long time.
Any ab exercises, I can barely do them, but everything else is fine now.
Wow. Yeah, that's crazy.
It is. I don't ever want to go through
Scary shit, right?
Yes, but if you leave it in there, if your appendix ruptures,
Yeah, I mean, it's
basically it disperses all these toxins throughout your body. And
I was gonna say, isn't the likelihood of
you have to peel you open down the middle and clean out all your organs, all that stuff.
Oh, that's what happens?
Which is, you have to clean everything out and all the, was it like bacteria maybe?
Oh.
Because if you don't, you'll die.
Oh, I didn't know they like cut you open that way.
Yeah, if it ruptures, they have to cut you open in the middle.
Yeah, I just get it out.
So I thought.
Yeah, I'm just gonna take that out and move on.
Yep.
Fuck that.
And if you go that route, if it ruptures, then you're in the hospital for what they say, like a week or 2.
Oh my. Oh, I'm sure they gotta keep an eye on you too, just to make sure nothing.
Well, yeah.
Works,
I had to do an overnight stay, and the only thing I think I ever asked the nurse is, when am I getting out of here? Like,
I cannot imagine you as a patient in a hospital.
Nope.
Not at our age. I can only imagine what you'll be like when you're old. It's gonna be fun.
Yeah, every time the nurse would come in the room, I'm like, I'm ready to go home. Like, I'm good.
Yeah, for everyone listening who doesn't know Andrew personally, he's very impatient when he doesn't get to. Well, you're really, I mean, you're a homebody, number one.
Yep.
You never even enjoyed staying at school, let alone a hospital. So I can only imagine.
It was brutal.
I'm sure you were trying to squirrel your way out of that place as quick as possible.
Yeah. And I mean,
well, and you did it in the height of, I mean, COVID was kind of still bad, right? So I think you were telling me too, like no one could really come in for very long. It was like kind of a mess.
No, Brittany could come in and sit with me there before my surgery, but after surgery, she was only allowed to stay for an hour. Whatever difference that makes, I have no idea.
I love that. That when you told me that, I'm like, oh, that logically makes sense. An hour.
And then she stayed with me for an hour after surgery in my room, and then she had to go home.
Unbelievable. Like, yeah, how does that make sense?
I mean, whatever.
There's
What
been
a
some crazy shit that I feel bad for anyone who's had like major things like that during COVID. That's got to be just
awful.
a
And like if
bummer.
you had a baby or something during coronavirus, like I
Yeah.
could
I know I had a lot of friends that did, and it just, ugh, seems like that would have been a mess.
what a mess. So I've had enough of the hospital fix for now.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Oh, I bet. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
tired of
Well,
that.
so that's number one. I mean, that was big news we had to talk about.
Yep.
But then number two, uh, really earth shattering news, new gig for you.
New gig, big
New
gig.
gig, whole new like world you're in. So maybe walk through that real quick, what you're doing, and we can dive into the specifics.
It's been a hectic winter,
I was
really.
gonna say, yeah, there's been a lot going on.
A career change and the surgery in the middle of all of it.
Good time to throw a surgery on, you know.
That's what I thought. And I'm like, I'm
Yeah.
trying to focus on getting my real estate license here. And then you
Yeah.
throw this in the mix. It makes it even more difficult.
Yeah, that was when I heard that, I was like, oh shit, you're like going right into trying to start something. I mean, that's just a bummer.
It was brutal, but we made it. We're alive and we're moving forward.
Yeah. Perfect. Boom. Good
Yep.
mentality to have.
Yep. So nope, just started with Whitetail Properties right in the middle of February. So that's a real estate company based out of Pittsfield, Illinois. They focus in farm, ranch, recreational ground, timber ground, all that. Something that they're not known for, but we do is sell rural homes. So we do that as
Rural
well.
only. Like you
Yep.
don't
So
really,
for the
yeah,
most part, yeah. I mean, we really don't sell anything within city limits and all that stuff.
sure.
Um, I know some guys on the Whitetail Properties team. They've gotten into some commercial real estate and stuff like that.
Oh, nice. Yeah, yeah.
So I mean, just trying to expand business like that. But no, so far, I love it. Whitetail Properties is a really good company. The support system is second to none. Their marketing is amazing. And, I don't know if a lot of people on this podcast or whatever know the outdoor industry very well, but Whitetail Properties is, number one, in my opinion, in hunting real estate and farm real estate.
Yeah, I
It's
didn't
just
even know this was a thing. I didn't know like hunting in rural real estate was like it makes a ton of sense, obviously. I just never had thought about it until you brought this up to me. I didn't even know this was a passion of yours for the longest time. So I thought it was cool when you told me.
yeah. And I mean, it's something I never really thought of. Like I wanted to work so Whitetail Properties, I think have been going since like 2006, 2007, somewhere in there.
Okay,
And
so
I
like
first
early high
learned about
school.
Whitetail Properties when I was in college. And I
Oh,
mean,
okay.
they have a TV show on Sportsman's Channel and they do tons of social media stuff.
Oh,
So,
they have a show too. I didn't know
oh
that.
yeah, yeah, they have a big hunting show and all that. And I mean,
So
I used to watch.
they've kind of like integrated their like real estate in with that community. Do a
Uh,
show for hunting
yeah,
and stuff.
essentially, yeah. I mean, it's a real estate company first, at
Yeah.
the end of the day. But I mean, they have a hunting show and stuff as well to push out content, and they feature some properties on there and stuff too.
Nice.
But I mean, I first found out about Whitetail Properties when I was in college, and I used to watch all their hunting videos and stuff like that. So I'm like, man, it would be so awesome to work for these guys one day.
Yeah.
And leading up to this event, I applied to Whitetail Properties probably a couple times throughout college or right out of college, and then finally I kind of gave up. And then out of pure luck, their staffing specialist, she messaged me on LinkedIn because she saw that I liked their page on LinkedIn and wanted to know if I'd be interested in working a territory in Indiana. And I'm like,
Whoa. Yeah.
absolutely.
Yeah.
And it was a 3-step interview process, and got hired on after that. I got my real estate license, and here we are today.
That is sweet. That is sweet. Yeah, so it's kind of like a dream job sort of thing.
I would say it combines all my passions into one.
Well, that's what I was going to ask next is I guess I never thought about combining a hunting show with the real estate. Like that combo seems interesting, but it must just be because the clientele they're going after for the retail side or the retail, but like the real estate side is also people who are into hunting, right? Is that why?
Yeah,
Is that the connection they kind of made?
yeah, yeah. I would say so.
Yeah.
Because I mean, every deer hunter dreams of owning their own property one day. So I mean, I think it just goes hand in hand.
Got it.
And,
Oh, it makes sense. Instead
yeah,
of because like if you don't, then you're obviously asking someone else to use their property or you're going on public land or something.
exactly. Yep, exactly. So
Got
everybody's
it.
dream, every hunter's dream to own property, whatever. But back to combining, all of my passions of the one. I've spent, the last 6, 7 years of my career outside of college, in the agriculture industry. So
Yeah.
you involve that in real estate too, because we sell farmland. And then, hunting's been a big part of my life. So you throw that in the mix,
Right.
land management, all that stuff, it just combines everything into one. And, I like seeing people happy, reach their goals and get their dreams and stuff. So to bring properties to these buyers, it's so cool to see
Yeah.
people get that opportunity and to provide them with that, help them through the process.
Oh yeah. It sounds sweet. So
So,
what area are you covering that you're
so
doing
I
this in?
got a 12 county territory, northwest central Indiana, basically stretches from Logansport, Indiana, all the way down to the northwest side of Indianapolis, and then it's all the way to the Illinois line from there.
Okay. Got it.
12
Got it.
counties. Yep. So it's
Nice.
a big, wide variety of, different terrain and stuff. You get down south, kind of northwest of Indy, it's got rolling hills and creeks and stuff like that. And then you get up by me, it's primarily farm ground and stuff,
That's wild. I
and the
mean, because
good
it's
thing
like a
about
big space, and you were explaining this to me on the phone one time. You said you're essentially like the only agent in this whole area, right? Like this is like
for
your
Whitetail
region.
Properties, I'm the only agent.
Wow.
And that's why it's nice to work for Whitetail Properties, because the traditional real estate company will take as many agents as they can get and just cram them into one area.
Sure. You're
Where
like
with
competing
Whitetail
against each other.
you're not competing against each other. We're all the same team. We're trying to help each other out. I mean, you're still competing against other agents in the area,
Sure.
but you're not competing against your own, which is nice. It gives
That-
you a chance, basically, that it's your territory. You do with what you want in it.
right. And are there a lot of other companies that have them in your area, or is that
Oh
also
yeah,
a rarity?
there
Oh
is
yeah, quite a
certainly.
few.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, got it. Okay, but that even kind of goes to the whole like concept of being with the number one brand too, right? Branding and everything we've talked about today. Like being
Right.
with Whitetail probably stands out a lot.
Yeah, their marketing is just huge, and I mean they've gained such a footprint in the hunting industry and outdoor industry that I mean it's just pretty well known. And a lot of people that want to sell or buy, I mean one of the first companies they're going to think of is going to be Whitetail Properties.
Got it. Yeah.
Yep.
Right. Right. And we obviously have had a lot of founders on the podcast. The first thing that resonated with me when you were explaining it is like you're kind of your own boss in a way too, right? I
You
mean,
are.
you really are. Could you kind
Yep.
of explain like how it works for people who are even interested in real estate and specifically this type of real estate, like how it works?
Yep. I mean it's basically your own company within a company, pretty much. And you've got the backing behind you. I mean, you have all of the other agents within Indiana that can help you. You have your managing broker that you can go to. Then you have the corporate staff that you can rely on as well for help. And then the marketing team and all this other stuff.
Got it. Okay. And then it's up to you to get the deals, you to find the deals and close the
Exactly.
deals.
Yep. I mean, they help you out with marketing and how to market and stuff. So
Yeah. Yeah, I'm
it's
sure that was that like kind of eye-opening for you, just the whole marketing world, just going from what you were doing where that wasn't even probably a thought to now being
yeah,
like,
kind of. I mean, I didn't think. I mean, I had a little bit of an idea of kind of how it went and stuff, because being from rural Indiana, you get mailing cards all the time from real estate agents basically saying, "Hey, I'm here,
sure.
if
Oh
you want to
yeah,
sell
like
your
the
land."
mailers and stuff.
Yeah. I mean, that's a really big part of it, but for the most part, no, I think I had a pretty good idea coming in. I mean, some stuff that's kind of shocking within the real estate business is I lost my train of thought. The paperwork.
Oh, yeah.
There's so much.
Is it
So
more
much.
for is it more or less for this type of real estate versus like uh our residential houses?
No, not necessarily. If it's vacant land, there's actually less paperwork.
Got it. Okay.
But if it's a residence, then yes, there's more paperwork. But I mean, at first it was intimidating. Like when I did my first deal, I was like, oh my gosh,
Yeah.
I'm like, how am I ever gonna get this down? But now,
Sure.
I've been through a few and it's second nature. It's nothing.
Now, do you also have like, or does someone, or do a lot of your buyers use like an attorney as well, or is it just the real estate agent that's usually handling the deals?
It just depends.
Yeah.
Just depends. A lot just use a real estate agent, but I mean, yeah, just every deal is different.
Got it. When I came to Illinois, that was something I didn't realize like everyone here has an attorney, like
Yeah.
everyone with every deal, with every house. And when I came, I remember being like, oh, and there's a lot of people in Indiana, like family friends that I talked to when me and Kelly were buying our house that were like, never have used one, never. And I was like, huh, so interesting. That was an
Right.
interesting thing that I learned.
It is.
Um, what kind of caused you? I mean, obviously, it's this lady that worked there reached out to you originally, well, after you had tried through college and stuff.
Yep.
But for people listening, I know the first thing that you and I talked about months and months and months ago, when you were kind of still looking into this concept and this idea, was taking the jump, which we hit on here all the time. And with real estate, I thought it was interesting because for you, it's a little different in regards to, I don't know, maybe like your lifestyle and the job you had and then jumping, but like, what would you tell people? I guess maybe I'll back up. Would you walk people kind of through just like your mental process? Because like you have a college degree, you had a salary job, you've done all that stuff. What was kind of the springboard to be like, I'd rather take the risk and see if I can do this, and then like the payoff if it works type of thing, and like how you thought through that? Because I think you're at a point in life where a lot of people are, where you just got married, you may be thinking about a family, like very
Right.
common like place where people are trying to figure out what the fuck they want to do.
I mean, it was a hard decision, I mean, even though that it was my dream job, like I was super excited at first and all this other stuff. And then after, you get through the initial honeymoon phase of the whole hiring process, that's when reality hits.
Yeah,
And you got to start thinking about your future and financials and all this stuff. I mean, it's a big leap because, like you said, I'm used to a paycheck every 2 weeks.
yeah,
And I mean, there's nothing wrong with the lifestyle that I was doing. I enjoyed it and I would have no problem going back to it if I had to. But I knew this is a company that I wanted to work for a long time ago. And the opportunity was literally looking me in the eyes and it was right in front of me. And it's just like, if I don't take this chance now, like I'm 29 years old, if I don't do it right now, then I'll never do it.
yeah,
Down the road, I'll never do it. And I'll kick my ass, be pissed at myself if I look back and be like, why didn't I do that? Why didn't I
yeah,
try it?
sure,
It's scary,
yeah.
I mean, it's a big leap and it's a big initial cost at first too.
What
You
in
know,
what in what way?
marketing,
Oh, okay,
getting your name out there,
yeah,
and if I got lucky and I got a couple deals right off the bat, so that helps a bunch. You got actually some income coming in from it. But
sure,
if
all
if
right,
you if you didn't have a deal yet, and they in the hiring process, they tell you and warn you this too. They say, don't freak out if you don't have, something like a deal made within the first 6 months of you being here because it's just, it takes time.
yeah,
You have to gain traction within your market and within your area, to get business. And so don't be scared, but you do have to be prepared financially if you don't have any income coming in.
wow, yeah,
So I mean, it's scary, but like I said, if I wouldn't have done it, I would have been so mad at myself down the road.
yeah.
And
Now,
you have to take that leap. And I saw a quote the other day too. It says, "Prioritize your life, or someone else will." And that's kind of how I think
love that.
working for someone else's. Like I was to the point in life, it's just like my mind is constantly turning.
Yeah,
It's just like, what can I do to make it on my own? And it's not that I don't like working for somebody else. Like that's fine. It's a great way to live and it's a stable way to live. But I want to push it to where like I'm making my own decisions and I'm prioritizing my own life instead of someone else doing that.
right, yeah, I get
I
that.
don't want to give up my life for a salary anymore. I just want to go out on my own and try something at least.
Yeah. I think it's interesting to think about whenever you get, and I've heard a lot of people say this too to validate it, but whenever you get a little ounce of making money on your own, that first time you get money coming in from something you created or did or the work you did, whatever,
Yep.
and then it kind of, the first time that ever happened to me, it resonated that I was like, oh, like when you have a career, not that it's a bad thing by any stretch, like you said, you're giving up your time, which turns into your life
Yep.
for a fixed amount of money versus like trying to create. That's like really
Totally.
the way I've been thinking about it probably over the last year or so is like,
Exactly.
that's
You're
really what
giving
you're
your life
doing.
up for a salary.
Yeah.
That's pretty much what it is.
You're putting worth on your time, which is
Yep.
wild. It is kind of wild to think.
And I mean, like I said, there's nothing wrong with working for somebody else, but
Right.
essentially you're making them and their business successful, which in turn, you are successful as well, depending on what your definition of success is. But
100%.
mine's different. Mine's not to make somebody else or somebody else's company rich.
Yeah.
I want to do that for me. I want to do that for me and my family.
Yeah.
That's the way I
Yeah.
look at it.
When you're at a smaller company, I think you see it so much more even than a larger one. Because a larger one, there's so many people just doing specific roles. When
Exactly.
you get into a smaller one and you realize you're just an expense on their books, and
That's it.
you're helping get something done so that they can, have way more money and have the
Yep.
nice house and the nice cars and just the nicer life in general as far as from a financial perspective. Yeah, it's really interesting. Well, it's kind of funny to think. I mean, a year's gone by since we had you on the first time. I mean, investing's become a new avenue for you, and then obviously switching careers too. I mean, that's
Yep.
some pretty major
And
changes
I
from a
think
year ago.
I think I think real estate and investing goes hand in hand.
Yeah,
I
I
mean,
do
this
too.
real estate market right now is crazy,
Yeah. Yeah,
crazy, crazy.
what's your thoughts on that now that you're in it a little more and you're in your way closer than you probably have ever been? I mean, do you think it's gonna stay this way for a while? Do you think it's
No,
kind of on a high right now? It's gonna pop?
I think land values are at a high right now. It's definitely a seller's market right now.
Okay.
100%. Like
Yeah,
it is tough to come by listings. It is
got
hard.
it.
And I
Yeah.
listed 2 properties and they didn't last 10 days, either of them.
Now, the one question I always love asking is, did it go above the list price?
Nothing has went above list price. I know a lot of properties that are because people are getting
Yeah,
into these bidding wars because it's such a seller's market.
right.
But I mean, the
Crazy.
amount of phone calls that I have gotten on these 2 properties is just insanity.
That's wild.
It's crazy. And I get phone calls nonstop every day, multiple times a day, buyers looking for specific things, land, whatever.
And
He's like, if
is a
this
lot of
comes
that
on the market,
organic or is a lot of that from your marketing, you think?
both, both. I mean, these buyers are so active on the internet and social media, and I run social media ads too. So I've got some traction off social media.
Oh, have you run social media ads?
Yeah.
Nice.
And I've got some guys call me and message me off that. It's just the amount of people looking for land right now is insane.
So then that's cool. So from like what you do you have, is it like, and I'm just curious because I think this is so interesting. And I'm sure this is for any real estate agent and anyone in the real estate world.
Yep.
Is there like one part of your job where you're like creating this like portfolio of I guess it's real estate that you're selling for someone. So it's kind of like, this is like my playbook of places I need to like sell. And then you have all this inflow of people too who are looking to buy.
Right.
And so you're
So basically, your goal is to get so good at this that when someone calls you to list their property, you already know who it's going to.
yeah, yeah. I was gonna
Like you
say,
have
is
this
that
big buyer list or contact list, or like this guy's looking for this, call him. There you go.
oh, I see. Yeah. So because you have another list of people who've reached out at some point and like, hey, if you find something with the A, B, and C, call
Yep.
me. And then
Yep.
once that you get that listing, you're like,
Yep.
yo,
You're like, I
Joe,
know
I
where that's
gotcha.
going.
Yeah.
Yep. That's the whole goal. And right
Oh,
now,
got
since
it.
it's so hard to get listings, like that's what I'm doing is just growing a buyer list.
That's pretty cool.
I mean, yeah, it's not necessarily where you want to focus all of your time. Like right now, don't get me wrong, I'm just hammering marketing right
Yeah. Okay.
now, big time.
What are some of the avenues you're marketing? Because when you told me this the other day, it's funny to think about like, I work in the e-com world, as people know. So, when I think of marketing, a lot of times I think of social media, Amazon, some of that stuff, because we're selling a physical product. For you, what else does marketing include?
So I mean, it's no secret the real estate industry, the mailers, that's a big one, and just get it straight directly into people's mailboxes.
Yeah.
And then newspaper ads. You and I were talking about this the other day. You were making fun of me too, and I'm
Yeah.
like, well, a lot of these landowners, they're getting older
Yeah.
and they're thinking about selling. So I mean, and
Right.
that's who you're targeting, I would say, in a newspaper ad. But I mean, around rural areas, newspapers are still big.
Yeah. Okay.
They come here every week.
Really?
So yeah, and
Every
and
week? You get them once a week?
yeah,
You get a newspaper once a week,
Yes,
not once a day.
once a week.
Oh, interesting.
Yeah,
Okay.
at least in our area.
Wow.
Yeah,
I have a lot of neighbors get the paper. It's daily. Yeah.
yeah. But no, in newspaper. I mean, you're targeting everybody, really,
Sure.
especially in rural areas. It's just the way it is. And flyers, hanging them in gas stations, restaurants, you name it.
Wow.
Um, Social media ads is huge,
Oh, I'm
huge.
assuming because everyone out there by now is on
Facebook,
online.
for
Yeah,
the
for
most
sure.
part, it's a monster. So I mean, definitely focusing there. But it's just things like that. I mean, there's plenty of other things too that we're doing. But basically, I want to try a little bit of everything to
Sure.
see
Sure.
where my return's going to be.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. And
Yep.
are you tracking that pretty closely? Just, what you're spending, what your return is?
Yep. Absolutely.
Because do you ask everyone that calls you or reaches out like where they saw you?
Oh yeah.
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 Okay.
Yep.
Love it. That's really cool, man. That's
Yeah.
exciting. So you're what? You're 2 months into that now?
Yeah. Getting close to 2 months.
Yeah. Wow. You've already got 2 deals done. That's exciting.
2 deals done. I'd like more.
What's the goal for the year? Do you have a goal or just as
I
many as
would
you
like to
can?
get 12 by the end of the year.
Okay. So basically
12
one a
listings.
month.
Basically. Yep.
Yeah.
That's pretty realistic, I think.
Okay. Wow. That's exciting, man.
Hopefully, we'll see what this market does. I don't know if
Yeah.
it's going to flip. It could flip, and it could become a buyer's market where people are just listing like crazy.
Which is that a bad thing for you?
It's harder to get a buyer, I would say, in
Okay.
that situation. Really, you have more sellers than buyers. Right now, it's more buyers and sellers.
Got it. Okay. So,
Yeah.
okay, that makes sense. That makes sense.
Yep.
Got it. That's exciting, man. That's fun. If people are like in your general area they're listening or they're in Indy or Chicago or anywhere in the Midwest, how do they like follow you, get a hold of you, all that fun stuff?
I got social media page. It's Andrew Malott, Whitetail Properties, Real Estate, Indiana, on social media, and then on the website you can find us too under agents under whitetailproperties.com.
Nice. Okay. I'll add all that to the show notes too.
Yeah.
Sweet. That's awesome. Anything else you want to add or share with everybody? I mean,
No, I don't think
been a
so. Just
ton of
exciting
updates today.
stuff. Trying to learn real estate, and if people want to invest, land's a good one.
Yeah. Yeah, I was gonna say that's like the one we hadn't really hit on here, honestly, is
I
land.
think it's overlooked.
I think so. I mean, I
I really
honestly I
do.
wouldn't have thought about it because I guess maybe that's one thing to hit on before we finish up is yeah, like if someone has some money and they want to invest in real estate and they could do like an apartment complex or maybe they want to throw it into commercial real estate or land, like
Yep.
what's your perspective on all the different types now that you're in more of the land side?
I mean, it's a huge investment. Don't get me wrong, but just punch your numbers, make sure that you're going to get your return on investment. Or, I mean, it's not even necessarily that. I mean, if you're at the age where you just want to buy a property and enjoy it, there you go too. It's never a bad investment because it's enjoyment. And if you find the right property too, you want to get a return on your investment with farmland or anything really. I mean, the options are endless.
Yeah, because I
But
mean, someone like me who lives outside of Chicago and I would be far away. If I bought property like in your area, what is that? Do you have people doing that? Like, what does that look like?
I get people from Chicago calling all the time looking for ground.
And I can see a lot of people wanting to hunt on it, but I guess
Yeah.
also, I mean, if I bought is there like kind of an expected rate of return at all that you? I mean, I'm sure
Um,
it's changing all the time, but like, if I just bought some property out by you and just sat on it, is that usually? I mean, over time, does it appreciate kind of like how houses do? I'm assuming.
Typically, I mean, back when my grandpa was farming, I think ground back then was running 200, 300, maybe $1,000 an acre.
Oh wow, what is it now?
Um, Now, farm ground anywhere from 6 to 15,000.
Wow, that's
I mean,
crazy.
an acre, and
Yeah.
it's crazy. And I mean, stuff's going stupid high right now too, and
Okay.
and a lot of these people too are buying these tillable farms that solar panels are going on, and
Interesting.
and some of that stuff's running 1,500 an acre at auctions, which is astronomical. But
So they're just buying land to put solar panels on?
if if the company contacts them and they can get it enrolled, then yeah. I mean, it's not necessarily like something that you're guaranteed is going to happen. Like you have to do your research before something like that happens. But
Sure. What
um,
about like wind farms?
Yeah. So straight west of my house, about 40 miles, is nothing but a straight wind farm, really.
It's the one that runs through 65, right?
Yes. That one.
Crazy.
It is.
Yeah.
And I mean, that's a gold mine, and they're still expanding.
Wow. So, but like, if I even bought like, and maybe you don't know this, but could I just buy land and then apply to put one of those on my land, or is it like town
Uh,
by town and city by city has to like, because they're huge and they're loud. So, like, how do you know how that part
no, I
works?
don't really know how that works. I mean, you have to be within the general area, don't get me wrong, but you're going to pay for it, if it's close, anywhere close to that.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. I mean, you're
Yeah.
definitely not going to get it bought cheap and then be like, oh, I'm just going to throw a windmill up on it.
Right.
It's
Well,
not
that's what I was
yeah.
wondering. Like, because I'm trying to think like the purpose of people buying, if they like, like for example, the Chicago example of like buying land out by you, is it like to put something on it to try to make more money, or is it just to have and probably at some point flip or hunt off of it or something?
Yeah. Some people will buy it just to hunt. Maybe they'll fix it up a little bit and make it better for hunting and flip it, you know,
Yeah. Is
or,
that a thing? Like hunting land flipping,
oh,
like house flipping is?
oh yeah. You take just a generic hunting property and add all these different things to it and implement them in and flip it, sell for more.
Whoa. That's
You
kind
know,
of wild. You'd
but
think that would take so much like energy, time, and money to like get like equipment down and like
takes a
all
lot of
this.
time and money for sure.
Yeah.
But
But people do
there's
it.
more of it too. And another good one is tillable ground. The way farming is right now. If you
Yeah.
just invest in straight tillable farm, and
And does that
you're
just mean there's like no trees, there's no creek, like
right,
it's flat, ready to go dirt?
right, farmable ground. Yep. And
Got it.
obviously you're going to find a farmer to cash rent that, and you get income off of it every year on a per acre basis.
Oh, so that's probably a huge one then, I would think.
It
I would think
is.
for
It
someone
is.
like me, like if I wanted to go down and buy 100 acres or whatever,
Yep.
that's
But
obviously
you
a
got to get
ton,
it.
but
You have to get it bought right too. You're looking at so many percent return on it as well. So
yeah. So, okay, if you could get the numbers to work out, you get a decent deal and then you rent it out. That could probably be a pretty nice cash inflow for someone who doesn't even live in the area.
absolutely, yeah. If you
How
can
do you
get it
like keep an eye on it though?
If you get a good landlord, or not if you get a good farmer, not a landlord, if you get a good farmer and they're willing to watch over it for you and take care of it, mow the roadsides, property upkeep and stuff. I mean, it's up to you to find a good one, who's
Yeah,
going to do a good job and
sure.
take care of it. But
Because that would be my first question is like, I wouldn't want to
yeah,
be there every weekend mowing. So how does that all? Yeah. Okay. Got it.
but
It's so
I mean,
interesting.
there's tons of people around here. I mean, I do it a lot, is I just click around on a plot map all the time. It's like, who owns that? And you look at their address and I'm like, that's from states away.
Oh, you can see all that online?
Oh yeah.
Got it.
Yeah.
Okay. It just
It's
like
available to everybody.
has it just like plotted out like
Yep.
got it.
Yep.
Okay. Wild. No, that's a whole new thing I have never thought about. It's kind of cool to think about. Just like that's a whole nother, aspect of real estate that and then I would assume like hunting ground like usually wooded and there's could be other components to it that's not just like flat farmable land.
Right. Yeah.
Got it. Okay. Got it. That's really cool. Huh.
Yeah.
Learning some new stuff today.
Endless possibilities.
I tell you what.
Yeah.
Exciting. Well, Andrew, thanks for coming on the podcast, man. It was fun to do a third one. This one, I felt like last one not didn't get squirrely, but we had a few drinks, we're hanging out. It was fun.
We did have a few drinks. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. That was my first time doing that on here. That was
You
fun.
know, we got some big things coming up. Final four.
Final four. Are you betting on it?
No.
Come on.
No. Did you see
Really?
the spread? Did you see the spread on Gonzaga? It's four. I think it's 14 or 14 and a half this morning.
Before we go, I have to comment on that. So I haven't watched Gonzaga at all. You threw it out that they might be the best team that's ever played in the NCAA, and I laughed.
Did you watch them last night?
I did, and I watched just how cocky they are, and I did laugh a little because I mean they're like throwing flexes up after each dunk. They're just like they look like an NBA All-Star team, to be honest. Like
They're
it looked like I was watching the highlights, and it looked like LeBron and the folks just I mean they're just dishing it, dunking it, full court throws. I'm like, what is happening?
oh,
It was so ridiculous.
they're unbelievable.
But where did they get all these people? Like who all decided to go to Gonzaga
I
together?
have no idea.
Where is Gonzaga?
Uh, hang on.
I was literally thinking about it last night. I don't know why I didn't look it up, but I was thinking about it. I'm like, Because, it's really common. Like you see last night, UCLA, Michigan, like two good programs. Like, yeah, those are going to have high talented people. But like when you see like where's it at?
Washington,
State?
Spokane,
Yeah,
Washington.
I knew that. I knew that.
I did not. I thought it was Arizona for some reason.
I was thinking it was either like Washington or like Utah for some
I
reason.
knew it was West.
Yeah, I did too. Okay, so there we go. It just seems funny. It just seems like a very random school to get that kind of caliber people. I mean, 30-0, that's pretty impressive.
Man, they're good.
So that'll be fun. I have Baylor winning it all, so I'm a little worried after watching Gonzaga
No,
play.
I don't think you need to. I mean, Baylor's good.
Yeah, I think they'll both make it to the championship. So I think my bracket's got a solid chance. If Baylor pulls it off, I think I'll end up winning because I don't think anyone picked them besides me. So
Yeah,
that'll be good. Yeah, that's coming up. What else is coming up?
Cubs baseball tomorrow.
Oh, is it opening day?
Yes.
I didn't know that.
Very excited.
I'm a big, obviously huge baseball fan.
I am.
You are a Cubs fan too.
Yeah, big one. Yeah.
I think they're open. I think they're planning on opening partially this year for fans.
Yeah, I can't remember what Wrigley Field was. I don't know if it was 25%. Maybe I could be.
It's something smaller for sure.
Yeah,
but I think
I'm ready to have fans back. March Madness is just not the same without fans.
No, it is great to see it, but it's not the same.
Love it, but it's not the same.
What's your thoughts on the NFL? They claim they're going to have fully packed stadiums.
Please. Yes. Yeah.
Yeah, that'll be interesting if they can pull that off. I mean,
I hope so.
With the vaccine rolling out, it might be possible by the fall.
You'd think. You'd think so.
You would think.
I'm ready.
Yeah, me too. Yeah.
Cool,
man. Well, thanks for coming on. This was fun.
Yeah,
we will. I'll share out all this stuff so people can find you, and hopefully you'll get some leads out of this. That'd be pretty sweet.
Hey, maybe that'd be cool.
Yeah.
Awesome, get some more people.
That's right. That's right.
What we need.
That's right. Awesome, buddy. Well, I will talk to you soon. Thanks for coming on.
All right. Thanks, man.
Later.
Later.